Hello everybody. This is a long-awaited video that a lot of you guys have been waiting for and asking for. As it is PCOS Awareness Month, I will be talking about my PCOS journey. Just a disclaimer, I am not a medical professional or dietitian of any sort. Any of the things that I talk about in this video are just things that have worked for me personally. I think the big thing I want to mention here as well, to any of the guys that are watching, feel free to exit out of the video right now if you don't want to hear about periods and things like that, because this is going to be jam-packed about that stuff. So yes, I'll just begin with my story. So I have been formally diagnosed with PCOS for 4 years now. So I was diagnosed in 2016. My story kind of starts in a different way. So I'll tell you guys like my symptoms and things like that. So I probably was experiencing symptoms of PCOS in high school. So like when I was in year 11, year 12. So my symptoms changed when I got to maybe 2021. That's when my symptoms changed even more. So from like 16, 17 to 2021, the symptoms quite varied, I guess. So when I was in high school, I had quite regular periods actually. However, they were super heavy. Like I would fill up a whole nighttime pad in a couple hours, which is gross, but yeah, it is a lot. I would get excruciating period pain. I still to this day get that same symptom though. I don't have endometriosis. I've already gotten cleared for that, so I'm glad for that, but I just have really bad period pain. So I usually am in pain for a couple of hours until my medication kicks in for the pain. I definitely know that it's hard to explain to other people what it's like to have PCOS cramps, because it's not your typical cramps, because you physically cannot get out of bed. I always felt like I was going to throw up because it was so painful. Keep in mind as well, I have a really high pain tolerance. So I would say my rib tattoo was less painful than my period pain ever gets, which is saying something because that tattoo hurt a lot. Yeah, anyway, going on back to my symptoms. So period pain was one. My period was regular when I was in high school, but it got really irregular when I turned 20, 21. Like I would get it maybe every 2 months, every 3 months, maybe every 2 weeks, maybe a month. I don't know. It was just all over the place, and it was just so annoying because I never knew when I was going to get it, and when I did, I was basically disabled for the whole of day one. It was so painful. I also have had weight gain. That was a symptom that I got later, so it wasn't really a symptom when I had in high school, because in high school I think I maintained my diet and my exercise pretty well, so I was relatively fit and healthy and small. So let me just put into perspective, if I can, I'll insert a picture here, but I was 50 kilos when I was in high school, and then at my heaviest, so at the end of my PCOS, so right before I got formally diagnosed with PCOS, my heaviest was 64. So I gained like 14 kilos in a span of about a year or less than a year when it came to my heaviest, I think. Yeah, because I maintained like that 50 to 52 kilos all the way up until like 2015, and that's when I just got so much bigger, in my opinion. Like that's how I saw myself, because I gained a full dress size, which was huge. And I don't know why I never saw it as like anything hormonal or anything like that. Like I had a suspicion that I had PCOS, but I wasn't sure, and the only reason why I had a suspicion was because my mum also has PCOS, and she told me that that may be the reason, but it was hard to say. Like, we weren't sure if it was thyroid and things like that. So it was just a whole mess before I actually got diagnosed. Another symptom I had was really bad acne. I had acne for probably like throughout high school, and then it calmed down maybe when I was in first year and second year of uni, and then it probably ramped back up around the time that I gained the weight. So I reckon it all links up anyway. I don't think my acne has ever been controlled until right now, but even in saying that, I am on the pill at the moment for my acne and my period pain. I'm hoping to get off the pill in the next 6 months or so, and then I'll find out whether my acne has changed or not from when I was in from the beginning of my diagnosis, or yeah. But I did do like a year without the pill, and my acne was okay. When I say okay, it just means like I had like, what, 2% of what the original breakouts were, which was a lot. Yeah, but those were my symptoms. I guess I'll move on to my diagnosis and how that came about. So the way my route was completely different. So I went to my GP, and I really wanted to like find out why I was having so much acne, and more so like get rid of the acne. And I didn't think of it as a deeper thing. I thought my acne was just a surface level thing. I don't know, just had bad genes or something like that. So my GP sent me to a dermatologist. The dermatologist gave me heaps of medications, like antibiotics. They were tossing up Roaccutane, but I said I didn't want to unless I had to. He gave me a lot of topical creams and like face washes and stuff with like benzoyl peroxide, which like dried out my face to a pulp. Like, it was so flaky and disgusting at one stage. I was like, is this even gonna help? But I told him about my family history, and then he told me to go get tested. So I got a blood test, I got the ultrasound, so I got all those tests, and it actually came back that I had PCOS. So the second that he realized that I had PCOS, he was like, you don't need to see me anymore. So he referred me onto an endocrinologist, and I guess from there she was able to kind of delve deeper into supporting me at a deeper root compared to what I thought it was, which was more superficial and surface. So I went to see my doctor around then. I think it was the end of 2016 or early 2017 by then. I probably was at my heaviest when I saw her, or maybe I had lost 1 or 2 kilos, I'm not sure. I don't have a picture of my heaviest ever, but I'll insert a picture of the biggest I ever got that I took a picture of. I think I stopped taking pictures because I honestly was so embarrassed because I got so big. Yeah, so I guess that's where it started with my management of my condition. My doctor, she didn't prescribe me any medication, sorry. She gave me all the options. So she asked me if I wanted to go on the pill. She asked me if I wanted to go on metformin, which is a diabetes medication that has been shown to reduce weight gain in people with PCOS. And she's asked me if I wanted to go on spiralactone for my acne and things like that. I personally chose to go the natural route, and I chose not to go onto any medications at the beginning. So I initially just changed my lifestyle. So I started eating better. I'm not saying that I didn't eat well already. I actually eat pretty healthily already. I love fruits and veggies, so like that never has been an issue for me. It was more so on portion control and things like that I wasn't aware of. So once going to Samantha and figuring out like what I kind of needed to do and what my goal was so that I could work towards that with her, and then figure that out for myself, we were able to like get up a management plan that suited me best. In saying that though, I think it was 2018 that I decided to go on the pill. So that was around the time that I started my current degree, which is physiotherapy. I couldn't keep up with all of the exercise and eating well and all that stuff, and I thought this was kind of like the easy option in, which probably was a really bad mentality at the time. Now that I think back, I kind of do regret going on the pill a little bit, because now I've read up on like side effects and things like that and the repercussions of coming off the pill. So I'm a little bit nervous about actually coming off the pill in the next, say, 6 months to 12 months from now, but I'm kind of excited to see like my body and what it's going to do when I actually do go off the pill and how it's going to respond. I guess we'll see when that actually happens though. Probably not going to go anytime soon, because I'm a little bit stressed about like what the symptoms will be when I get off the pill. But yeah, that was kind of my diagnosis. I think the hardest thing about my diagnosis at the time was just accepting that I could be infertile, potentially. Like, I don't know obviously at this point, because I'm not trying to have kids at this point or anytime soon or anything like that, so I don't know until that time comes. And yeah, like my doctor has reassured me and said that if I manage my symptoms and I still keep doing what I'm doing now, I shouldn't be infertile, or I should reduce those chances. In saying that though, it doesn't put me at full ease, because obviously I don't know, but I guess I try to reassure myself and tell myself that I can't get stressed over something that I don't know, so I'll deal with it when it comes. Anyway, I know that a few of you guys have some questions, so I'm just going to have a look at these questions because I don't remember all of them. I already talked about what symptoms I have. So when it comes to my weight loss and workout regime, it's going to be different for everyone. Everyone's body responds to different things. Personally, I absolutely hate cardio, and I actually do very, very minimal amount of cardio for I think the average person anyway. When obviously right now we are in the middle of a pandemic, so gyms aren't open, but prior to that I would probably be doing the stairs, like stair climbers, or I'd be going for a swim. I'll probably do stair climbers for like 20 minutes maximum, for like at a moderate pace 2 times a week, maybe even once, and then I'll swim once a week in the summer and sometimes in the winter, depends how cold it gets, because it's a bit harder to get out of bed and go to the pool. But that's probably most of the cardio I do. I walk quite a lot because of my job, but not even that. I walk a lot just like when I'm bored, so I just go for a walk with my dog, or I'll just walk around the block just to kind of clear my mind, get myself moving instead of staying home all the time. Especially in these times right now, I've been trying to walk at least 3Ks a day. Most days I walk about 5Ks, but on some days I'm not feeling it, I will just kind of walk a shorter distance and just get like my half an hour's worth of exercise in. Prior to COVID, I was training weights about 3 to 4 times a week. So obviously that's changed now. I've been doing maybe two I think 2 strength training sessions a week, so I'll be using resistance bands, upping my reps, mainly focusing on endurance, body weight exercises, because I don't have any weights at the moment. In saying that, it is substantially less than what I normally would, so I have gained a total of 5 kilos from isolation, but that was from the first ISO, so now it's the second ISO. I have lost about 2.5 kilos since then. I'm hoping to be on track to lose another 2.5 kilos by the end of the year or early next year. Hoping that gyms reopen. If not, I've just got to figure out how to more home exercise programs to do. With exercises, I found that keeping it short but simple. So I'd usually go 45 minutes to an hour's worth of exercise when I did go to the gym. Like just in the gym, just lifting weights, and then do a little bit of cardio if I have time or if I want to. Other than that, I think that was honestly the best way for me to lose weight. I used to work out too much, I feel like, and then my body just plateaued and I didn't really make any gains or anything like that. I, at the beginning of my diagnosis, thought that if I did more, I would actually lose weight, but I feel like it stressed my body out more. I was probably doing close to 2 hours worth of exercise at the beginning. I would do, you know, if you guys know the Kayla Itzinas workout thing, the 12-week bikini program thing. I'm not saying that it doesn't work or it's not good or whatever, but for myself, I did it and it was a bit taxing on my body, and then I would lift the weights on the same day and then do cardio and trying to keep track of my nutrition, and during that time it was way too much. So I feel like I wasn't able to make all the gains that I wanted to make because I was stressing my body out so much. I'll show you a comparison of my heaviest and then my the leanest I had ever been. So that was early last year, just here. It took me a very long time to get here, obviously. So 2019, so like about 3 years for me to get to this spot here. And in saying that, like, I definitely took it slow. I didn't do any crash diets. I really focused on building my relationship with food again and not being afraid to eat my carbs or eat bad and feel guilty about eating bad sometimes. I think that was the hardest part because it was really affecting, just my relationship with food was really affecting my self-image of myself, and it was making it difficult for me to, I guess, love me. And I think that's the most important thing, especially in times like this where you are trying to lose weight and maybe you have a like ideal body type that you're looking at. And I think loving your body, no matter what stage you are in the process, is the most important part, because if you are happy here, then you're most likely going to be happy in the rest of your body. So some of you guys have asked me about my diet. So I guess to keep track of how much I've lost and how much I've gained, I use MyFitnessPal. I've been using that for a very long time. I was religiously tracking my macros and my nutrients and calories and things like that. Maybe I would do that. I think I did that for like a solid year and a bit before I was like, this ain't for me. In saying that, my diet, this is what my diet is and what's worked for me. I've lost a total of from my heaviest, I've technically only lost about 4 kilos at the moment. And if anything, like, I think I've gained quite a bit of muscle and things like that on top of it. So I don't think weight is the biggest thing. I feel like my body has changed so much in the last couple of years, and I've actually gotten to a point where I'm like, I actually like this and I don't mind it. Yeah, and with my diet, I feel like I've always been trying to lose weight, and I never really understood like nutrition and things like that and how your food affects your body. Personally, right now especially, I always have a high carb diet. and it sounds really daunting for most people when you hear high carb diet, but personally that's what's worked for me. I found cutting carbs actually made me angry, and it made it really hard for me to curb my cravings and things like that. I find that's the best way for me to lose weight, and then also to keep my body happy. Yeah, like I feel like if you understand the fundamentals of macronutrients and things like that, you know that carbohydrates are the main fuel source for the human body. I personally have tried like most of those other diets, like keto, vegan, vego, paleo. Paleo was probably the only one that really worked for me. I loved it because I got to eat so much, but I really missed like grains and things like that during paleo, so I did end up switching to a more traditional normal diet. Keto did not work for me. I just was cranky and hungry all the time, so personally I felt like it was not the way to go for me, so that's why I've stuck with the diet that I have right now. In saying that, I know that everyone's body is completely different, but what has worked for me is that I eat probably 60% to 70% of my carbs by the afternoon. So like by lunch, maybe like more like early afternoon, I've already had most of my carbs for the day, and I feel like that keeps my energy going. I don't drink any caffeine, or I don't have any coffee or anything like that to keep me energized. I'm super sensitive to it and I don't like it anymore. Also, I find it makes me all jittery and weird and moody, so I just steer clear of that. So I usually just get my energy from food. So I find having higher carbs early in the day actually helps me. I feel energized for the rest of the day. And then like in the evenings for my meals, I usually have lower carbs, so I don't really eat as much rice or anything like that. I just like fuel up on vegetables and meats, and then have like fruits and nuts for snacks pretty much, but keeping in mind like you got to keep that in proportion and everything like that too. But that's pretty much the breakdown of my diet. Like it's nothing too crazy. Like I didn't really change much of my diet because I ate relatively well prior to my diagnosis with PCOS. I guess by tracking my nutrients, I was a little bit more aware of how much I was eating and how much like it contributed to my caloric intake. But in saying that, if you're eating whole foods, you're eating everything in proportion, then I think you should be fine. But if you do feel like you need more help with that, like definitely like seek some professional advice, and maybe like jump in, have a chat to a dietitian and see what they can advise you and see what will work for you specific to your symptoms, because obviously everyone's symptoms are different and how they manage it. One thing I wanted to say though, I still have cheat meals. I still have ice cream and all that. I don't really cut anything out of my diet. I only maybe sometimes cut dairy just because I am lactose intolerant. But in terms of food, like if I feel like a cheeseburger or whatever it is on a certain day, I'll go get it. Obviously I'm not going to have it every day, but I'm going to, if I feel like a treat, I'll have the treat, and then I won't feel guilty about it. Like just have it, enjoy it, and then if anything, use that energy that you got towards working out or cleaning the house or something like that. Like you shouldn't feel bad about eating bad. It's fine. We're all normal. We're all human, sorry. And it's completely normal. It's fine to eat bad sometimes, but remember that you want to be eating healthy most of the time, so like 80% of the time, and then eating bad 20% of the time. I think the best way is like to find like alternatives, like healthier alternatives to some of the foods you love. So for me, I always make burrito bowls because I freaking love Mexican, but I know that having a burrito in a wrap and buying it all the time is not so great, so I always just make it myself, and I know what's going in and I'm weighing it all out. Anyway, I know this is a long video and I hope I answered most of your questions. I know that there may be some details that I have missed, so if you do have any questions, most definitely just reach out to me. But other than that, thanks for watching guys. Bye!